Okay, to begin this project, let me tell you how I got to where I'm at right now. Okay, so I took my plain ornament and I mixed 50% multi-purpose sealer, 50% gray sky, base coated 2 coats on every single side of it. I just use a 5/8 inch angle brush because I could get my edges really nicely with it. You can apply it with a sponge, that's what I normally do, but the pieces were so small, a brush will work just fine for this particular thing. Okay, then after the undercoat is dry, you want to mark off 3/4 of an inch from the top and draw a line. And the lower part is what we're going to paint. So you're going to apply 2 coats of your base coat colors. I did lavender, primary yellow, true blue, true red, scarlet, and holly green. So this is just our Deco Art paints that we're using here. So now we're going to stencil on the background. These 2 I've already done. This one I've done with a darker color for the background, and this one I've done with a lighter. I really like the lighter better. For my yellow one, I couldn't really go lighter unless I went with a white or you know, a cream color, and I just don't think it would have looked quite how I wanted it to look. So I'm sticking with the darker on the background. You can do darker colors in the background, but I think for my purpose I'm going to use light colors. You could also flip this around and base coat them with the lighter color and then use the darker color for your stenciling. So for the stenciling part, we are going to use a makeup sponge to do this. I'll bring my palette into the frame here, and I'll zoom you in just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to take my stencil. You can use any stencil you want. I was originally going to use a small snowflake stencil because I think that would look so cute on these, but then decided to go this route with this swirly stencil. So I am going to figure out, those are going up and down. I don't want my swirls to go across. I want them to go up and down. So I'm going to lay it on here and grab a piece of Scotch tape here and tape it across there. That will also help me from getting paint on my topper up here. Okay, so for the red one, I decided to go with Boysenberry Pink. Alright, we're using a makeup sponge. Makeup sponges are not absorbent, so I'm going to get a little bit of paint on there. Actually, I got a lot. Okay, that is a lot of paint. So I'm going to go over here and work that paint around on the end of that sponge because it won't soak up into it. So don't try to get it to soak up into it. It might slightly soak up into it if you have a ton of paint. It might, but they are not absorbent, so disperse your paint. Don't tap into the paint and just keep tapping. Get a little bit on there and then come over here away from the puddle and tap it, you know, around the bottom of the sponge so that it disperses on there. Okay, straight up and down with your tapping. Here we're going to shade around the outside edge and underneath our topper. And on the purple one, I'm going to use dioxazine purple. I want you to use whatever brush that you'd like to shade with. So we're going to go underneath here. I'm going to do both sides. Then we're going to go along the sides on both sides of this ornament. Lay your brush flat, soft pressure. Just darkening up the edge. I want to bring that out a little bit more. More water and paint. too much sharpness on that edge, so I just took my mop brush and kind of softened that down. More paint. Now, if you have a hard time floating long areas, then you can pre-dampen it. Okay, so I've done all the outside edges of these and underneath right there. So now we're going to dry brush a highlight on here. So I've got a dry dome scruffy brush. This is a 5/16 Royal Crafter's Choice. You can get this at creativeartslifestyle.com. Probably the brush guys carry it too. So I put paint on. Now I'm removing as much as I can off of it onto a dry paper towel, dry brush, dry paper towel, and we're going to create a highlight down the center of these by just gently rubbing this. I want it to be much brighter than that. Start off easy because you don't know how much paint is in your brush. I have this come all the way up here. Widen it a little bit through the widest part of the ornament. Okay, one more time, and we'll do this on all of them on both sides. Okay, I have let these set overnight and come back to them this morning, and I love them just like they are. I was going to put some dimensional stuff on them, but after I came back to them, I thought, oh, they look so much like real bulbs now. So the only thing, the option that I want to give you is that on this one, and I'm going to put it on the other side, I've only done this side, I've applied 2 coats of Glamour Dust Ice Crystal onto it. And the other ones I'm not going to do that to, just this one. And then to make them really look like a real ornament, I'm going to varnish them with 2 coats of high gloss varnish. And then